Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Apple has announced its quarterly results yesterday, and this is the first page of their quarterly results, which indicates three things primarily. Number one, net sales. Number two, net income. And number three, their earnings per share. In this video, we are going to talk through why their sales were down, what and how potentially their sales could go up in the next few quarters, and also what are the things that they are doing to improve their overall profitability and what's the impact going to be on the stock markets. Now, before we go ahead with the video, please go ahead, click on that like button. I'm sure you will like this entire analysis. So let's start with the net sales. Their sales were $123 billion in 2021, last quarter of 2021. And in the recently announced results, their total sales were $117 billion, which means their sales have declined by 5%. And a few reasons that are quoted are, number one, there were supply side issues last quarter. And Apple has released a statement mid-quarter, which they don't do that often. And the statement said that, hey, the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max assembly facilities located in China are currently operating at a significantly reduced capacity. And what does that mean? That means that, hey, people are willing to purchase these iPhones, but there is not enough supply, so they are not able to get their hands on these iPhones. So the sales are dropping down. Remember this thing, and let's jump into the next chart. This chart indicates that the overall smartphone share by the operating systems in the US. Now, Apple clearly has more than 50% market share, and the second one, Android, has 48-49% market share. Now, you would say that, hey, if I don't get my phone, I'll probably go ahead and switch to some other phone immediately. But this survey indicates that 52% of the Android users reported that they were likely to switch to Apple's OS for better functionalities, but only 40% of the iOS users reported that they are likely to switch. So they already have a huge base, as we have seen in the market share chart, and now very little percent of them compared to the Android switchers are going ahead and purchasing other phones, which means they are waiting for those models to come into the market. Now, Apple CEO has also mentioned that, hey, the supply side issues are now resolved and now the phones are on the shelves, so people will go ahead and continue to purchase these different iPhones, which means the sales in the next quarter announcements would be much higher. So this is an issue that Apple can control, and they already looks like have controlled it. So we are going to see the results in the next quarterly results. Now, the second issue that Apple has mentioned is the strengthening of US dollar. Now, what does that mean? Simply, for example, in the last year, if $1 would have given you 76 rupees, now $1 is giving you 82 rupees. It means the value of US dollar is increasing. And what is happening with respect to iPhones? If an iPhone is $1,000, previously I was spending 76,000 rupees only to purchase that iPhone. And now I have to spend 82,000 rupees. That's an increase of close to 8 to 10%. Now, people do think if they have to spend additional 10% on a phone. And imagine, this is not just happening in India. The US dollar is strengthening across multiple currencies, and this is a situation that Apple is facing around the world. And that is what is their statement. They are saying that, hey, iPhone sales are adversely impacted because of the dollar strengthening. Now, this is something which they can't control. The third factor that they mentioned is the macroeconomic situation. Number one, the Russia and Ukraine war. Number two, the increase in the inflation. And number three is people coming back from COVID. Again, these reasons, they have absolutely no control on them. So while one reason is supply chain that they can control and they are already working on it, the other two reasons that are not under their control. So we do not know how the next 2 quarters results are going to be, and hence when Apple has announced that outlook, their forecast for the next few quarters, they were also a little muted because they do not have visibility, neither they can't control a lot of these things. Now, if we move into the next number, that is net income. Net income is basically nothing but the total revenues minus the total cost. Well, if they are not able to control the revenues, they'll at least try to control the costs, and that's something which is in their hands. And that is the reason why majority of the other companies have started to resort to the layoffs scenario. Apple did not do it yet, but Tim Cook very clearly mentioned that, hey, we do not want to go to the layoffs as much as possible. We'll do all the other cost restructuring exercises, including we are not going to hire aggressively over the next few quarters. But still, if they can't control the results, if the revenues continue to go down, he said there is absolutely no way that we cannot lay off anybody. Now, those are the ways in which potentially they are able to manage those net incomes. Now, what does it mean to the stock market? This also indicates that the earnings per share has come down. The earnings per share has come down from $2.11 to $1.89. Now, as a shareholder, you are seeing that, hey, what you are earning is coming down, and also the company revenues, overall revenues are also coming down. What does that mean? It potentially means it's a bad company and you don't want that stock anymore. So the demand for the stock should go down, and subsequently the prices of Apple share should also fall. But that won't be the scenario. Probably that would be the scenario in the short term, but you don't expect that Apple stocks would fall massively. And here are my 3 reasons for that. Number 1, Apple subscription revenues, the services revenues are still growing. In this chart itself, they have mentioned that their services revenues have grown from $19.5 billion to $20.7 billion. And why are their services revenues going? Because the total base of Apple products that are out there in the world is currently 2 billion. There are 2 billion Apple devices. And when there are 2 billion devices, people tend to buy subscriptions from the same company just for the ease of use. So people buy Apple Music, Apple TV subscriptions, and a lot of other subscriptions that these guys are providing. And hence, this services growth is continuing even though the product sales are going to reduce. Now, the second thing is also that the Apple's overall cash reserves are pretty healthy. They have close to $20 billion plus cash reserves as indicated by this particular P&L statement. Please go ahead, look into that P&L statement by yourself. It's on the Apple website, and do let me know what is the exact amount of cash that is in their bank accounts right now. And number 3, Apple is the largest company in the entire world by market cap. If there is anybody who is able to handle this entire uncertainty in macro situation better, that should be Apple. So the confidence in the company is pretty high compared to all the other companies out there. So I believe in the short term, people might be unhappy that, hey, Apple is not able to generate revenues at the rate it is expected to. But still, because of these strong factors, the stock will pick up itself once again. So if there is a large dip on the stock, I believe, hey, at least I will go ahead and invest in that stock. It's not a recommendation from my side. Please do your own due diligence and do let me know what do you think about it. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this video makes sense to you, and do let me know if you have any feedback. Thank you so much. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.